Hey guys, how's it going? Articulation here, and today we're looking at another action figure review. This time we're looking at the Killer Croc action figure from MeToys, and I bought it on VC Toys box. This figure came in a cool looking shoebox. Basically has a really cool picture of Killer Croc at the front here. We've got the Killer Croc text here, basically signifying that it is Killer Croc. We've got the prison set written down here because Killer Croc comes with a black gate pair of pants or trousers. We've got the BAF Abomination Body, that's the part list, the BAF Mattel DC Killer Croc head, the prison pants, and prison shackles. We've got 5 shackles, 1 for the neck, 2 for the hands, and 2 for the legs. We've got a logo of MeToys at the bottom here, a text that says Killer Croc on the side here, and an inverted logo of MeToys here. I don't know what that's all about, and basically nothing on the bottom. So this is everything you get inside the box laid out in front of you. We've got the Killer Croc action figure, which looks pretty cool. We'll go into more details a little bit later. And we've also got the shackles. Unfortunately, one of my hand shackles came broken. I reached out to VC Toys box, but yeah, I haven't followed up since. But basically, one of them is broken. But I'll put everything else on the figure so we can see what that looks like. So here we have Killer Croc with all his accessories, and basically rather than crying about the broken shackle, I basically made it like a cool diorama where he's broken free of the shackle and he's ready to get on the hunt. It looks like a pretty cool figure with all the accessories on, and the pants are really well done, but we'll go into more details soon. So looking at this Killer Croc up close and personal, he basically has a really cool head sculpt. And yeah, that's basically the DC Multiverse like Build-A-Figure Killer Croc head sculpt, but it's repainted to match the body color, so that's a really good repaint. Looks really nice. There's a lot of details. Look at the eyes. Yeah, that would be very terrifying, nightmare-inducing eyes. The mouth is articulated, similar to the DC Multiverse figure. There's a lot of good details for Abomination, and I mean, Marvel Legends does a really good job with some of these sculpts, and it's very evident here. There's a lot of good details on the back as well. The rubbery piece, that's basically a separate piece that's put into the back. There's a lot of spikes and basically, yeah, scales and spikes everywhere. That's pretty cool. The pants are really well done. I think commenting about things that are new to this figure or that was created specifically for this figure. The shackles are also very, very well done. There's a lot of rustic paint there. I mean, you can see the 3D print layer lines a little bit there. It's kind of visible, but I mean, it's not that bad because looking at it, it does look like a metal shackle. The Blackgate pants are pretty good. It's a pretty good fabric. The orange is pretty cool. Very authentic to the Blackgate colors, or something I would imagine would be the Blackgate colors. The shackles fit on pretty well. And you've got like this extension piece that you could basically add chains to, and it would look pretty cool. So yeah, overall it's a pretty cool figure with a lot of neat details. In terms of articulation, this figure's got all the Marvel Legends points of articulation with the added jaw articulation from the Build-A-Figure head. The shackles are obviously a different piece, so they basically stick on. Head has okay range, but the shackles do hinder that a little bit. But I think with the shackles on, it does what it needs to do. There's no neck articulation because the neck and the body is the same piece. There's a butterfly kind of joint here that can go back and forth that much, which is pretty decent. Like, it can go further back than it can go forward, which is still pretty good. The shoulders can't go higher than this, which is a little bit disappointing, but it's like still okay. It can turn all the way around. Bicep swivel. And if you look at that, the bicep is swiveling independently of the forearm, so there's basically 2 swivels going on here, which is pretty cool. There's a swivel at the elbow as well, and there's a single joint at the elbow, which can do about 90. The wrist is typical Marvel Legends wrist, where you can hinge back and forth, and you can swivel all the way around. The abs or the abdomen section has one like ab cut here, floating ab cut here, that can basically crunch forward that much, crunch back that much, which is, oh wow, it's pretty decent. I didn't realize it was that much, which is pretty good. There's a swivel at the waist that is stuck on my figure at the moment, but yeah, there's definitely a swivel on the waist here, so you can see the cut here. I'm just afraid of breaking all the shackles. There is the thigh joint that allows you to do that, which is a pretty good split. There's a thigh rotation here up top as well. There's a double joint in the knees, that can give you pretty much a good crunch. There is a cut at the calf, or basically right above the ankle here, so right behind the shackle, which swivels around, and the ankles can pivot up and back and forth, and it could go back and forth and pivot, which is pretty cool. So now that we've looked at this Killer Croc action figure in great detail, we want to move on to the next section, which is height comparisons, and this is my favorite part because we get to see what this Killer Croc looks like next to the Mattel Multiverse Build-A-Figure action figure. Alright, so here we have the MeToys Killer Croc next to the Mattel Multiverse DC Build-A-Figure Killer Croc, and as we can see, the DC Killer Croc is a little bit taller. They have the exact same head, so I think the different color and the use of the head on MeToys is pretty cool, and it's pretty evident like how they've used the same head, but it still looks different enough because of the paint job. The body on the Mattel figure is much more basic, or it's a previous articulation structure where you get single jointed knees. The T crotch is kind of like, it's not the best, and the ab section is like what Mattel have used for multiple years, and it's definitely not the best in my opinion. So it's still a great figure, and it just looks pretty massive, pretty intimidating, but the details, the scales, basically all the different parts to the Marvel Legends figure just makes it look a little bit better in my opinion. Anatomically, I think the Mattel one isn't the best either. I think the Gameverse Abomination Body wins hands down because the body looks more proportionate. Killer Croc on the left has really long arms and really big hands. I think the feet are the only thing that actually look better on the Mattel Killer Croc, but it's really cool to see these two guys together. Here we have Killer Croc next to another one of my favorites from Mattel. This is the Doomsday Build-A-Figure action figure. Pretty cool action figure and lots of good details, but yeah, a little bit shorter than Killer Croc. Up next, we've got McFarlane's DC Multiverse, and on the left here we see the first DC McFarlane Multiverse action figure Build-A-Figure, which is the Merciless action figure. Next, we've got another Build-A-Figure from McFarlane Multiverse, and this one is Bane, and Killer Croc is still bigger than Bane, so it's a pretty big figure. Another one of Todd's Build-A-Figures, Nanawe. This is Suicide Squad's King Shark. So next up, we've got the McFarlane Multiverse Deluxe Clayface. Now we get into the deluxe side of things. The Storm Collectibles Injustice 2 Darkseid, and the Injustice 2 Storm Collectibles Doomsday with the custom head from VC Toys Box, Marvel Legends Thanos, McFarlane's DC Multiverse Batman Rebirth action figure, and finally a custom 3D printed Batman action figure that I created from scratch. It's a shameless plug, but I'll still put it in there. It's the Batman Flashpoint action figure that I custom made, and you can download him and print him from Cults 3D. So in closing, this is a great custom action figure adding Mafex elements of fabric to Marvel Legends articulated body, which gives it a lot of good sculpt details, good head sculpt that fits really well with the body. The pants look phenomenal, they're done really well, they're easy to put on. The shackles add that layer of detail to the figure, which adds to Killer Croc being monstrous and shackled up. The scale works really well with Mattel, with McFarlane, with Mafex, and any other lines that are in the 6 to 7 inch range, because Killer Croc is like more of a character that can change in size based on the artist. So it's a really good figure that fits in with almost any 6 to 7 inch line, and I think that you can't go wrong with this action figure. I'm not sure if this is still available to purchase, but this is a really cool action figure that I've been sitting on for a while, and I really want to make this review, so I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for checking out this video, and there's more updates to Bane coming soon. I'm just printing out the last parts so that the prototype is done, and we'll have an update in the next week. But thank you so much for watching. See you again next time.